Because they're stupid. What do you want? I don't know.
But it's kind of weird that, like, when you say something like that, and you say one religion is stupid.
That's what I said. That's why I followed up with I
hear people shit on Scientology. And granted, Scientology is fucking dumb. It's ridiculous. But when you have one group saying, hey, your religion is stupid, I'm going to go back to believing that there's a giant man in the sky.
Hey, I don't judge anybody's theology. What? I don't judge anybody's theology.
I come from a very, like, Christian family.
I know you do. So do I.
So, like, I don't talk about religion all that much in front of my parents because I always go into the Noah's Ark thing, and that always irritates my mom when I talk about that. Because like,
is your mom one of the people that literally believe verbatim?
No, she knows it's bullshit. But what I'm saying is, you have a boat, a giant boat, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not even getting into, whatever. Like, how this boat can be made and feasible and whatever. And I don't care. But you're telling me that God said, get 2 of every animal on this ark. 2 of every animal. Now, according to some people, dinosaurs existed at this time. So now you have 2 of every dinosaur that should be on this ark. On top of that, you have animals that are carnivores next to animals that are herbivores, and you have the omnivores right in the middle. And then I'm not even going to get into the different types of insects that there are that should have been on this ark.
It's a lot of glass jars.
Exactly. So why in God's name does anybody take that as fact? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And don't get me started on Jonah and the whale.
No,
it's like, okay, you're going to have a guy that lives in a whale for 3 days.
You see, this is why Catholics believe in the letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
Yeah,
you can't do everything in the Bible verbatim. Especially since the Bible was written.
But wait, I thought the Bible was written verbatim as the Word of God. If you can't take it as such, then doesn't that negate it being the Word of God?
That's a catch-22, I know. But the point is that have you ever even... No, you probably haven't because you're guys. Have you even tried to play the game of telephone with just 5 people in the room and how fucked up that gets? Could you imagine what it was? I played that in school. The first part of the Bible, I believe, if I recall correctly, was written 200 years ex post facto. So could you imagine how messed up some of the stories have gotten passed down man to man since then?
Yeah.
I mean, think of how many times the Odyssey got switched around and the Iliad, because those were all stories that were verbally told until Homer wrote them down. Actually, the Iliad, it doesn't matter. But until someone got around and wrote them down. Beowulf was told for God knows how long before it became written. So,
But you have people out there. This is what
you're just supposed to follow the
This is fact for a lot of people.
The moral.
I bet you I can find someone in Baltimore City right now. I can go to the Inner Harbor right now and ask them, "Hey, how old is the Earth?"
3,000.
And if your answer is in the thousands, I'm gonna smack you.
Yeah.
Like
not when you have carbon dating. No, I'm sorry.
No, but this is what I don't get, is that science has proven all of this.
Well, did you hear about the town that they just discovered in Europe that is the oldest that they just unearthed, that's officially the oldest civilization ever found?
I can't believe in that. I don't know. Because that would have had to predate Mesopotamia. And nothing got to England or Europe until after they were already in Mesopotamia. So that's impossible.
See, that was my initial thought, but the article that I wrote was pretty damn convincing. But I don't know. They unearthed it. They started finding things in like 2008, I believe. And then I think it's like recently become official that they're saying that's the oldest civilization. But it doesn't matter, because when Jews were building pyramids in Egypt, China had seismographs to measure earthquakes. And they had gunpowder. So every civilization's different. Everybody. However, when it comes to the Noah's Ark thing,
but let me stop you right here. That is a compelling argument for somebody that lives in 1851. And I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying, but when you live in 2012, and essentially everything, we are kind of up to date with science.
Well, yeah.
Right? We're almost up to date with certain things. So when I hear people go, the Earth is really 6,000 years old, and
well,
so
no,
what about
dinosaurs? Make any
dinosaurs?
sense.
Well, what about dinosaurs? Well, obviously dinosaurs existed alongside man.
No, you can say human civilization is maybe 6,000 years old, or I don't know how long we fucking existed, but you can say in the thousands mankind.
Maybe mankind.
But when you're talking about Earth itself, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't happen that way.
And those are the people that are in, like, Congress. They hold public office. You have legitimate rape.
Oh, don't get me started on legitimate rape. That just hurts my head.
Imagine a crazy person in the street saying that. If a guy who worked at Wendy's had said, well, the female body has ways of shutting that down, and, so it's impossible for some women to get raped, that guy would be fired from Wendy's. That guy, the guy who said that is going for public office, and there's a very good chance he may win.
I don't know.
Like the new study that they said that the people that are complaining about how Congress is not getting anything done are actually, like I said, a lot of these senators and congressmen are actually going to just get reelected, because people are just going to continue voting them back in.
Yep.
So the ones that are bitching and complaining that nothing gets
that's
get
because
done,
they're lazy and they don't want to do research
Exactly.
into any new candidates.
people are fucking stupid. They're lazy.
But what I was going to say about Noah's Ark, if it makes you feel any better,
It probably won't, but go ahead.
not just, it has been scientifically and historically documented that during the time that the Bible, quote unquote, dates Noah's Ark to have happened, parts in India, as well as in Egypt, and some of the other current day countries all around that area, all in their cultures have recorded on their calendar some type of major destructive flood, and each culture had their own story behind it. So if you're going by the Bible, from that part of the world, it's documented as Noah's Ark, whereas in India, it's documented in the what is that thing called? I don't know, but it's also mentioned in like Gilgamesh, as well as their actual Hindu book. I can't remember what it's called. So all throughout those parts, even Egypt had something documented about some huge great flood, and every culture, depending on their theology at the time, had their own parable or made up story, as some people may call, explaining it.
The sky fell, it scared me.
Christians and Jews just have a big boat with a bunch of animals.
It's all weird. It's all weird. I don't care how you want to sell it, how they're going to sell it. It's weird.
It was also even documented in one civilization, I can't remember, but during that great flood is also when they had mentioned an island that they think hints towards Atlantis, that all of a sudden no longer existed.
Well, did you hear that there's people out there that are saying that the Great Flood is what created the Grand Canyon?
Whatever.
I'm just
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's like that's
a huge flood to get from that side of the world to the other side. But
a lot of people actually
I'm
think
pretty sure
Jesus...
there's more than one great flood, but that was just the one at the time.
No, just one.
Just one?
Just one.
Can't be more than one flood?
Never.
Because there's never more than one
tsunami.
tsunami.
No, there's a bunch of mediocre floods. There's never, like... That was the one great flood.
Global warming?
Doesn't exist.
What? You're out of your mind.
I'm just...
Okay.
No, you believe.
I
If you don't believe in global warming, you're a fucking retard.
I actually believe in global warming.
Yeah.
Like, if it's in a science textbook, and then so much that they had to make Global Warming the movie starring Al Gore. Which, if you watch that movie, I saw a video that because I've never seen the movie all the way through.
You're not making that up.
What movie?
Inconvenient Truth.
I've never seen that movie.
I've never even heard of that.
You've never heard of the Inconvenient Truth?
I watched the South Park episode that summarized about Man, Bear, Pig.
Yeah, well, it's not about Man, Bear, Pig, so don't worry about it.
I thought it was about Man, Bear, Pig.
No, it's not. It's about global warming.
No, I never even
And he
knew.
basically, it's just him standing in front of in front of a classroom or something, and it's him talking about the effects of global warming. But in the movie, he actually predicts that Manhattan would flood.
No.
Which actually happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
When? During Sandy? I'm sorry. No.
Well no, you...
I'm sorry. No, that was...
Yeah.
I just like to say things to...
Yeah. Well, next time... You get the mic in front of your mouth.
All right, real quick, let's speak about Sandy real quick.
Stop telling me to put things in my mouth.
What the hell?
If you
What the
listen
hell
more,
happened
maybe I
in
wouldn't tell you.
Louisiana?
Yeah.
What kind of shit podunk town is Louisiana? They can't handle a hurricane. All right, people talk shit on Baltimore all the time, but you don't see us crying about a hurricane. We shut down the city for one day.
Well, not much.
One day,
Not,
Louisiana shut down for weeks. People die. You got them living in the stadium like homeless fucking freaks. Like they're fighting over scraps of cheese.
You are so stretching right now.
I know.
But they can't.
You're so stretching
Because
right
maybe
now.
the state of Maryland isn't completely under sea level.
Huh.
Just Fells Point.
It's like Chris is like, oh, that's the reason.
Well, no, I mean, I just makes you wonder.
New York isn't completely under. Is there any
How do they build a city below sea level?
Hoboken, New Jersey is under sea level, and it gets flooded all the time. But they've said that
just like Fells Point down
Fells
in the city,
Point gets
that
flooded.
gets flooded out a lot. But that's really the only place that's besides Fells Point and Canton. Really, are the only
How do
places.
you build these places below sea level?
Because you're morons that don't care and don't take in consideration.
That would be the why, but the how. How do you? What compels you? Like
well,
Venice.
no, it's
like
okay.
Venice bothers me.
First
too.
off, hold on. They're not morons for building under sea level.
Yeah,
they are.
Hold on. Shut up. Let me explain. They actually prepared in case something happened. So it's not like they built it and just said, well, I hope to God it never floods. So they knew they knew that the possibility of flooding is going to happen. You can say the same thing about people who fucking build houses above sea level or like almost in the mountains. Well, it fucking rains in the mountains. It snows in the mountains. But we don't call them idiots because they live in the fucking mountains.
No, below sea level. That's underwater.
Here's the thing. Here's the issue.
I'm just saying it's that kind of attitude that causes
We're going to build a city beneath the level at which water sits.
Okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I might be able to clear things up on both your sides.
Okay. Go ahead.
Number one, dating back all the way throughout history, the best example in Egypt with the Nile, where when Egypt was built, where they built their civilizations compared to the Nile is way far away because they documented every time the Nile floods like crazy, and it's called a floodplain. Mm-hmm. And then they build the civilizations as up to where the floodplains ended.
Okay.
So none of their shit got fucked. In Mesopotamia, they did the same thing. All throughout history, is when mankind started to think that they were better than nature.
You're
better than
You're
nature.
saying this when weather was sort of normal. It's abnormal now. It's there's hurricanes, there's earthquakes in places that have never had earthquakes.
I know that.